This is Snake. I'm made inside the Battle Dome. Be careful, Snake. There are spoilers all over that facility. Spoilers? What kind of spoilers are we talking about here?
The worst kind of spoiler, Snake. Talking about Metal Gear Solids 1 through 3 and Peace Walker. It just never ends. They're all over.
Otacon. Didn't realize you'd be on this mission.
I just came to update your nanites to help protect your ears from spoilers, Snake.
Seems like everything needs to be updated nowadays. Phones, TVs, game systems. When does it stop?
It never stops, Snake. We're constantly living in tomorrow, preparing for the future.
It's just like war. War never stops. If it's not other countries, then we're at war with ourselves. And only... For fuck's sake, people. Let's not forget that we have a mission to complete here.
Drawing things for complete strangers, but my parents will probably watch this, so I guess they're not our strangers completely. Bad art.
Yellow. And welcome to another episode of Bad Art, a video series where I draw things and I talk things. And today we are going to be talking about a game franchise called Metal Gear Solid. So if you're watching this when it's posted, tomorrow is a big day. Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain finally comes out. And I would just like to give a salute to Hideo Kojima and his team over there for making the deadline, because I had said like earlier this year that game was going to get delayed. They were going to push it. And I'm happy to say that I was wrong. So it's coming out. And unfortunately, as much as I love the Metal Gear Solid franchise, I can wait to get this game. I am not in a hurry to get it. One, I'm not caught up yet. I haven't finished Peace Walker and Ground Zeroes. And two, I'm just not interested. And that's really bad, because I consider myself a really big fan of this franchise. In fact, I know two other people who are very big fans of this franchise. You know, one of them is Steve. You know Steve. And my buddy Art. We're really big fans of it, and I've been talking to him, and neither of us are like really excited for this game. It's just one of those things where we're just like, we'll get around to it when we do, you know, or if we never play it at all, that's fine as well. I'm not up to that level yet. I'm just not in a hurry to play this game. And one of the reasons why is because it stars Big Boss again. And I mean, I know that some people think this is kind of blasphemous to say, but I don't care about the Big Boss character. I really don't. I am a Solid Snake fan. I know Solid Snake is a clone from Big Boss, but it's just, I don't find Big Boss's story compelling at all. Like, ever since when you first play the Metal Gear Solid 3, you know, to where they just, because, you know, if you know about Metal Gear, like when it first started out, like before they did the Solid series, Big Boss was pretty much Solid Snake's Dr. Robotnik. You know what I mean? He was that enemy that they kept clashing into each other, right? And it wasn't until Metal Gear Solid 3 where they have you play as Big Boss and do like a prequel story, and they show you like, oh, he's not as bad of a guy as everybody thinks he is. Like, he's just a person who's fed up with being screwed with by the government, you know, and he's trying to like prolong his life as well as his colleagues' lives, you know, who know nothing but war. So it's like you get that story out of 3. Like, as soon as I like played through 3, or as soon as I started Solid 3, you know, Snake Eater, I knew where they were going with this story. And I was just like, all right, I get it. Like, you know, cool story. You know, he's not the bad guy we all thought he was. Okay, get back to Solid Snake. You know what I mean? And it's like they just kept going after that, like to Big Boss, because after Snake Eater, they started doing the Portable Ops series, like that fleshed out more of his story, you know, with him like recruiting soldiers and stuff. And then, you know, they went on to Peace Walker, where you start building the mother base, what would eventually become Outer Heaven. And, you know, and then you get Ground Zeroes and Phantom Pain, right? And it's like they just kept going in this direction with him, and I'm just like, why are you doing this, you know? And I jumped up for joy when they did Metal Gear Solid 4 because I was like, yes, they're getting back to my boy Snake. You know what I mean? I don't care if he's old and decrepit. Like, I would rather play old and decrepit Snake than boring Big Boss. So that's just one reason why I'm not excited for Metal Gear Solid 5. The other reason is too, and this is more recent, is that, you know, I haven't been reading reviews, but I have been hearing a chatter with all the games media and stuff, and, you know, through the grapevine, where people are reviewing the game and, you know, they're not spoiling it, but they're just like, the story is very sparse in this game. And I'm just like, that doesn't even sound like Metal Gear to me, you know? Like, I guess there's like some story elements that you have to kind of like fish for. Like, you really got to try hard to get some backstory with the characters and everything, or the overall story. That's what I've heard. But I'm just like, dude, where are my 30-minute to hour long cutscenes that explain this convoluted story? You know what I mean? First of all, so that like was deterring me away from it and getting me less excited. And I also heard that the boss fights are sparse. Like, somebody had I think it was Greg Miller, where somebody asked him like, how are the boss fights, and he was like, there's like fights that are like boss fights, but you can't exactly say that they're boss fights. It was something along those lines. And I was just like, what the hell? Like, they just gutted. It sounds like they gutted this entire series, you know, because to me, when I think of Metal Gear, I think of like just this convoluted story, this like overblown story, like played out through this game where they have these elaborate cutscenes that looks like a movie. You know, you got these interesting characters, like little quirky characters, the bosses that you run into, and they all have like their unique boss fights that you have to do. You know, like that's the Metal Gear Solid that I'm used to, and I thought that this wasn't going to be any different, just in an open world environment. But from what I'm hearing, dude, it's like, it sounds like they really watered this game down, you know? And it makes me wonder if that was one of the things that, you know, that was kind of forced on Kojima and his team, was to kind of like cut down on the cutscenes and everything. So maybe he like just snapped and was like, you know what? I don't need this shit. Like, I'm out. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Who knows? There's so many rumors going on. There's so much Konami bashing going on, and I've already expressed my thoughts on that whole situation back with Steve in a bad podcast. So if you want to check that out, go to Superior Silence channel and look for a video that says like Konami Sai or something like that. And you know, we'll kind of like give our views on what that whole situation was. But yeah, man, like that's pretty much the whole thing of me just not being excited for this game, you know. And I was like super excited for it when they first announced it. Like, I still remember when they showed that trailer at one of the VGAs where they were just calling it the Phantom Pain. And they were going through the trailer, and I was just like, this game looks really good. Like, man, this is awesome, right? And then like they showed the character crawling on the floor, and I was like, he kind of looks like Snake, you know? And then as soon as the trailer went off, like, you go on the internet to like look up some more info on it, and everybody's just like, it's Metal Gear 5. And I was like, bet, dude, I'm down for Metal Gear 5, you know what I mean? And as more information just kept coming out about it, it was like, I just kept realizing like, damn, dude, they're still focusing on Big Boss, you know? Like, I was hoping they kind of like come full circle and get back to Solid Snake, and that's not what they were doing. At least that's not what it looks like they're doing. Maybe there is some kind of twist in the Phantom Pain where you eventually just play as Snake, you know, like they did in Metal Gear Solid 2. But I don't know. From what I've heard, it doesn't sound like that's going to happen. Like, no one has literally said, oh, there's like a big twist in the middle of the game, you know, because that's usually what they'll say. Like, they don't count that as a spoiler, but, you know, they'll just say like, you know, there's a twist, you know, and ruin the excitement of the twist. So I don't know what's going on with the game. All I know is like, I need to beat Peace Walker, and that's a chore within itself. And Steve warned me about playing that game, because he was like, dude, he's like, if you didn't like Snake Eater, then you're not gonna like Peace Walker, because it's just more Big Boss. And he wasn't lying. It is just more Big Boss. And in Peace Walker, like, so far where I'm at, the story is somebody gives him a recording, and he hears the voice of his old mentor, the boss. and he like rushes out and tries to find out if that's really her or not. And I'm like, dude, I was there, okay? I was there when you put the bullet through her head, like between her eyes, all right? She's dead. That ain't her. It's got to be some kind of robot, because now there's like robot bosses that you fight in that game. So I won't be surprised if it's like some kind of like rogue AI imitating her voice to kind of like lead him into a trap. But like, so I'm trying to get through Peace Walker. I got Ground Zeroes. I got it for Christmas from Steve, and it's still sitting in this plastic, just waiting for me. Like, it stares at me every day, and it's like Chew, beat Peace Walker so you can play me. And I'm gonna get to it, dude. There's so many games that I have on my plate right now. I'm trying to play some new stuff. Rocket League is really throwing a wrench into all of my game playing plans, but I will eventually beat Peace Walker, and I will get the Ground Zeroes, and I'll eventually get to 5. And hopefully, when I get through those games, you will definitely see an episode of Bad Art dedicated to my thoughts on it. But right now, it's just I'm done. Not done, but I'm not excited to play more Big Boss. I'm not excited to go through his story, even though I am kind of curious as to how or to why he has a damn horn growing out of his head. The hell is up with that? So anyway, let's get to the art. So, this right here is just, like I said, not excited for MGS5, but I always go back to where it all started, which was Metal Gear Solid, the first game. Believe it or not, there was a time when I did not like this game, like when it first came out. And this was back when, they would like demo games at like Funko Land or GameStop or whatever you called it. And I walked across this game and I saw somebody playing it. I was like, oh, this game looks cool. So I started playing it, and I'm immediately in the beginning like trying to like kill people flat out with my bare hands. I'm just like, where's my gun? How come I can't shoot these guys? And one of the clerks were like, no, you don't shoot people. You got to sneak past them. You got to wait for this elevator and get to it, but you got to sneak past these guys, and they'll follow your footprints and they'll hear sounds and stuff. So you got to be real careful. And I just like couldn't wrap my head around the concept, and I just kept dying. And I was like, this game sucks. And I just like walked out, But then like shortly after, my brother ended up buying the game and played it, and he called me up on the phone. He was like, dude, you got to come play this game. It's right up your alley. It's like a game and a movie mixed together. And I was like, oh, okay, what is it? And he was like, it's Metal Gear Solid. And I was like, huh. I was like, why does that sound familiar? So like I went to his house, and he turns the game on and starts playing it. And I'm like, this fucking game? Oh my God. And he's like, no, man, no, you got to try it. It's so good. Like, just sit down and play it, right? And I played it again. I gave it another chance. And I was hooked, dude, because then I started from the very beginning where it's like they got the credits rolling and everything, And I was just like, wow. I was like, it is like a movie, because, anyone who knows me knows I'm a real big movie buff. So like Metal Gear is that perfect amalgamation of mixing a game and a movie together. And I love Kojima's style and how he does that, So I just wanted to go back to those roots, because that was like one of the best times in the Metal Gear series, was just playing through 1, and then continuing on to 2. Like, I did not have a problem with Raiden when they switched to him. I thought that was actually a really good twist that they did, because even though I couldn't be Snake, at least I got to fight side by side with Snake, And Raiden actually did have a compelling story as well, with them, like, the whole thing in 2 just being like a reenactment of 1 to try and build him up into a better soldier, to like make him the next Big Boss or the next Solid Snake. I like that story of Raiden, and how he was like a war child that got adopted. Like, I like that stuff. I thought that was really cool. But like, for some reason, I just can't wrap my head around Big Boss's character. Like, the only thing I give him credit for is that he has that same attitude that Snake has, which I'm sure Snake got it from, where it's like, these are just normal dudes who do their job, and they're really good at it, and they become bigger than, what they like started as, where everybody sees them as just this big deal, like when, like, he just, like, Big Boss just wanted to start this, like, this place where it's like, look, man, if you're a soldier and you got no work and you have no will to live, like, come here to Mother Base or Outer Heaven, and I'll take care of you. I'll send you out on missions, and your life's not meaningless. And it's like, I like that. And everybody just blew it up bigger than what it was supposed to be, And that's how Snake is, where it's like, everybody, or Solid Snake. That's how everybody looks at Solid Snake, where they're just like, "Oh my God, you're so great. You're such a great hero. You know, you're a hero to your country." And he's like, "I'm just a man. You know, I'm just a soldier. I just follow orders." You know what I mean? And like, and he doesn't just follow orders. He'll go against the grain. You know, I mean, can't really fight those nano machines inside of him, but still. And I just like the fact that like he's always like, I'm done, you know, just like Kojima, where he's like, I'm done, and then the next mission is like Solid Snake, you know what I'm saying? So, but if this is the end for Metal Gear 5, if this is the last Metal Gear game, like I'm cool with that. Like just stop. The story is just so out there and so convoluted. Like there's no reason to keep on going, you know, and they pretty much close it all out in MGS4, which I also loved. Like, quick side note, dude, when they go back to Shadow Moses, oh my God, I lost my shit when I played that part. Like, I still remember playing that part where we went back to Shadow Moses, me and Snake, and it was like late at night and my girlfriend was sleeping, and like as soon as they're like, we're going back to Shadow Moses, I was like, holy fuck. And she like woke up, she's like, what's going on? I was like, nothing, go back to sleep, you know. But that was a huge deal for me. So yeah, man, that's what this piece is dedicated to, is just remembering those good old days when Snake was just running around, taking out bosses left and right, dealing with Meryl's dumbass and all this other stuff. So, yeah, man. And also, if you kind of like see, I kind of tried to channel the whole like Cyborg Ninja scene where he goes in the hallway and slaughters all the soldiers. So, I wanted to kind of do something like that. But anyway, that's enough for me. You know, in closing, like I said, kudos for everybody who's been waiting for the Phantom Pain. Like, I hope you enjoy it. One day I will catch up to you all and share my thoughts on it. But until then, I'm going to check out some other games, you know, check out some other franchises to be building up. And hopefully Hideo works on something new, because I do like his style of development. I do enjoy his games outside of Metal Gear. So I look forward to see what he's going to do next, you know. So anyway, you all take it easy. That's it for me. Be safe out there. That was bad, but it could have been worse. And I'm out.